Seeing somebody switch from Diva to Zarya... Before we get started, I just want to let you know what my credentials are going into this. I am a peak top 500 player. I ended my highest season just under top 500. I was top 500 the last time I checked it. And then when the season ended, it said I wasn't top 500. And yes, I'm still salty about it, even though it was like 4 months ago. I'm now hanging out in Masters 4 because of all the rank resets and having a terrible time with it. I am a support player that flexes onto any support that is needed, but my speciality is Mercy, and I have over 3,000 hours played on her. So hopefully that's enough to give me some credibility. But of course, always take everything I say as an opinion and an idea. I'm not the end-all be-all of all the right calls, and if you have reasons to believe that I made a mistake in something that I say, I'd be more than happy to give more of an explanation to you if you would like, or I'm also willing to say that I'm wrong, or I'm not sure. So without further ado, let's get into the gameplay. So we actually start off here before the game even starts by breaking all of these little breakable barriers. And I think we're doing this so that we don't accidentally bonk into them and stop our guardian angel. Or potentially we're breaking him for our DPS. I'd be interested to know why. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, but I'm also don't think it's necessary. I don't think this is a necessary part of the game. Alright, finished talking about our hatred of barriers. Let's look at our team comp. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another VOD review. Today we're going to be looking at Irius here on Mercy. So first of all, we have to do a Mercy fit check. I don't love this combination, personally. The weapon is blue, but the outfit is all in reds, with a little bit of actual jade accents. So I feel like we're just trying to do too many colors here. Personally, I've never been a super big fan of this skin as well. I feel like it's too busy. It's got little accents everywhere, and I feel like it would be better if it was a little bit more simple. But that's more of a personal take. I'm not a fan of the combination. We also have the purple on the 20-sided die here. Which just goes for a more rainbow aesthetic. I think it actually kind of improves things by being more of a rainbow aesthetic. But enough of my Mercy skin taste. Let's take a look at this game. So this player had quite a lot to say, so we're gonna read out some of what they had to say. I know I have two very stupid deaths. One when our soldier died to Lucio, where my brain EXE just turned off, and another one where I followed our Genji, where I accidentally slingshot into Diva instead of canceling Guardian Angel. But otherwise, I felt kind of lost where to position myself throughout this game, and kept losing track of our soldier as well. So, I'm going to be looking for, hopefully, some good places for Irius to be in this game. This was a solo queue game. I mostly stayed with our Genji because he was in spots that I feel like I could threaten kills more with the safe positions than the other DPS took. And he was popping off way more too. I finished the game with only 3,000 damage boosted, 1.7 per 10. So I know I probably missed a ton of damage boost opportunity. Right off the bat, I don't love just looking at stats as a way of understanding games, because there's just so much more that happens in games. You have to be aware of like what's going on, who you're fighting on the enemy team, who's on your team, whether or not you want to be playing aggressively, whether or not you want to be playing more passively. If you're damage boosting a Genji, you're going to have less damage boosted than if you're damage boosting a Ashe or a Bastion. So it's definitely a thing to look at across all of your games and compare, but I would definitely say to be careful when putting emphasis on stats. But we're going to be looking for positioning choices for Irius here. My apologies if I pronounce your name horribly wrong. I simply cannot read. So this is a Diamond 2 to 3 lobby. So we're looking at right around where I consider to be some of the hardest games to play. Alright, so before the game proper gets started, let's take a look at our team comp. We have 2 dive characters here with the Doomfist and the Genji. We have Poke with Soldier, or Rush maybe, depends. We have our Mercy, obviously, and then we have Lifeweaver. So Mercy and Lifeweaver work okay together, but they are both weak picks right now. So for your teammates, this is going to be a frustrating character pick for you guys, especially as we're getting up here in ranks into Diamond. People are definitely going to be more aware of what the meta is and more frustrated when people pick off-meta things. Now, off-meta things don't necessarily mean that you're throwing or anything. As long as you're able to get good value with your character and affect the game in a positive way, you can get good value. But that being said, both Mercy and Lifeweaver are in bad positions right now, and having both of them on your team is going to set you up for a non-optimal situation. But it does work okay with the other characters you have. You don't have anyone who needs a lot of burst healing. Your Doomfist should be able to get out before he dies. Your Doomfist is going to hopefully get some pulls to save him from his own mistakes, and no one on your team is like a Reinhardt that's going to need some definite burst healing. So it's not the worst possible situation here. Starting off the game, we have our Soldier way behind us on the high ground. We're taking the high ground forward with our Genji. I think that's the right play. We immediately back off as soon as the Soldier shows up and hang out over here by our Soldier. This is all good. Think about going on the Lifeweaver pedal, but it breaks. Fine, whatever. This is all good. Just hanging out. Could see you moving around a little bit more. I would have liked to see. I would have liked to see you look to your Lifeweaver. I'm not sure you know how much damage he's taking here before he dies. Alright, we're waiting for the enemy team to dive. They dive. You survive the Winston and get yourself to a good position. You take care of yourself really well here. There was a lot of opportunities for you to get got there, and you didn't. But you do let your Lifeweaver die, and I think it's because you weren't aware of what was happening to him. Got a Genji on you. Ping it. I hope your team helps. A good job keeping people up here. I think you could have gone to your Soldier past the Winston, but staying where you were worked too. I like that you're staying on the high ground here. Supporting Genji. I really like Mercy on this point because you can do that. Just keeping ourselves alive. They got some point cap because they're running dives, so that's the thing to keep in mind coming up here, that they might just back cap it. You're looking for something there, but I'm not sure what it is. I like that you're looking around, though. Could have waited a little bit on the Valk. I would say don't contest this unless you need to. I think it... No. They don't have any hit scan. Or, I mean, Tracer's hit scan, but... See, definitely be careful contesting point, but they don't have the kind of hit scan that they can kill you with. Let's see if we can get into a better position to help our Soldier here. No, it's just kind of unfortunate. We could have been in a different position and helped him, but he was in a corner, and... having been in a different... we couldn't have known that he was going to be there, I don't think. Good damage boost on the blade. We unfortunately died of that. Anyway, we could live there. Alright, little thing. Might help you stay alive for a little bit longer. We take damage there. You get healed up. The Winston comes in and you go into the Genji. If you wait on this jump a little bit and glide back a little bit more before you jump forward to the Genji, as long as your beam's still on him, you can still jump to him if you have preferred beam target on. If you don't, then you would have had to jump right about now. But if you do, you can wait a little bit longer and the Winston will do a little bit less damage to you. The Winston does fall down, so you might have been able to get behind this post. But it was a non-optimal situation. You were already low and you got pushed by Winston. Your team's not running very much anti-dive. So things like that are bound to happen from time to time, if not all the time. When you're playing against a deck. So once again, we're setting up on high ground. I would say we're setting up a little bit back from high ground. I like being up here more. Your Genji is low. He does get healed by the Life Weaver. I'm not sure you knew he was low. I'd like to see maybe a little bit of healing on him. Okay, you know, Life Weaver treed himself. He did live. No, he dropped down and back into them. Why does he long for the sweet release of death? It's okay, you saved him. That was... You know... No, nah, that wasn't you. You couldn't have gotten there in time. You needed to be there with your Life Weaver and res him. I'd be thinking about Valking this. I definitely would have Valked this already. I would like to see you move around a little bit on the res. We're contesting payload. I'm okay with that in this situation. You do have some people who are near it, but they might get off, and you're really close to the end. That's far more critical. You maybe could have gotten healing on that soldier. Oh, I would not have done that. Go in to help Doomfist here. I'm not saying don't go in to help the Doomfist. Just go a little bit less in. Just a little bit less forward. Only like glide to like maybe here and then jump up as opposed to like all the way in here. Just to try and stay more out of range of this Winston here. You're in a non-optimal position here. Your team. You see the blade, go in and damage this blade. Yep. That was nice. Nice movement. You thinking about rezzing this? I like that you didn't stop to think about it. I think if you stopped to think about it there, you would have died. I think I probably would have made that mistake and stopped to think about it. And your pedal broke. Sad days. I would say don't do that, Guardian Angel. He is on point and you were still in range. Would not have won you the team fight or anything. Would just help your Doom stall a little bit longer. You're on Moira now and not Life Weaver, so that's a bit better. Now I'm looking here for some damage boost on some Moira balls. I think you were definitely looking for it. I think you were looking for it. I mean, I think you might have been able to. Oh, Valk now. Oh, don't do it now. Okay. I would have Valked. Let's see. When the best time would be. Yeah, just do it now. Just do it now. Just as soon as you get it there, I think. Then maybe you're able to heal both of your DPS up at the same time. They don't die. Maybe you have an opportunity to res your Moira as well. So far, biggest mistake I've seen. Team stalls for a little bit. You come out, back. We still have Valk. Just use it now. Just use it now. What are you saving it for? To get the res off, I guess. We're just kind of doing some point stall here. Nothing interesting. Just stalling the point. Just hanging out. Oh, that's tragic. That's unfortunate. Let's go back a little bit. Alright, so we're coming out of spawn here. We're going to be looking for a stall. I would just use your Valk now, I think. Yeah. We get there. I think we definitely could have done that earlier, but we get the res on the Moira. You don't have to be on point right now. Somebody else is. You back off for the soldier. You're the blade, I mean. Your movement in Valk is very slow. You don't go very many places. And they are playing dive, so in this situation, totally fine. I would say definitely be careful doing things like that or falling into that pattern, because if they have hit scan, you're in troubles. That was technically a mistake, but so hard to know that that's what would have happened. You maybe could have rezzed slightly further forward so you were touching the point while you were rezzing. Maybe just don't res and keep the Genji alive. Yeah, I think the play would have been to try and stand on the payload while you rezzed. But like I said, that's just unfortunate. That's an unfortunate situation right there. So we're looking at attack here. We did have a okay, give me a second. All right, so we're in spawn here, and we have a diva. Diva, real good right now. Real good character pick. And then we go Zarya. Zarya is not a terrible character pick right now, but she is notoriously bad on first point attack on Numbani. Like, notoriously bad. Seeing somebody switch from Diva to Zarya, we're still on the Genji, even though they have a Winston. He was doing okay, but not the most optimal. Soldier, also not the most optimal. We have the Moira instead of Life Weaver is definitely better. Stuff happens. That's an adorable spray. Bonked our head. That's okay. This is all fine. All fine. All good. Oh. Got a line of sight button post for a second. I like that you're looking around. Be aware that your Moira is in spawn for whatever reason. Good awareness. I would have gone for the bonk on her a little bit earlier, but I like that you did it. That was interesting. I don't think it was worth it to LOS your team for that time in order to ping that, because I think people don't pay enough attention to ping. I see what you're trying to say. You want them to go over there, but you do have a Zarya, so it's not gonna happen unless you go with just your Genji over there. Soldier goes off by himself and dies. Let's see if there was an opportunity for you to switch your position from where you are to go help the soldier. No, he just kind of runs through the team. So, yeah, right play. Nothing you could have done there. I'd ping the tracer. Preferably lots and lots. Or maybe your health lots and lots, because your Moira was, like, not paying attention. And maybe they would pay attention. That's a hopeful play. I mean, like, either they do pay attention to it or they don't. I like going with your Genji here. He won't have support from your Moira at all, so you're his only healer. Keeping yourself alive, getting out of the way of the Winston. Good, good. Oh, careful. Yeah, I think this is the time that you said that your brain stopped working when the soldier died to a Lucio. So your Genji was just too low here for you to have gone for this res. And you were also too low. You could have hung out with your Genji for a little bit longer, waited for the Lucio and the Winston to fuck off before you go for that res. But you already knew that. You realized you messed up. You told me about it. So we're looking to reset here. We have a Bastion now for reasons. Can we think about that a little bit? Why? On attack? On this map? You don't have a sim TP. Bastion, where are you going? Weird. So going lower left here with this team comp is the better play. Because you did already try going top left and it didn't work out. I think you can try that again as well, but I like pushing lower left here. Yeah. I think this is alright. I think damage boosting those people and then pushing up to the Genji to make sure that he secures the kill on that Juno. I like the part where you smash your face into the wall thinking about shooting the Juno and deciding not to. I thought that was very funny. Nothing wrong with it though. Either to consider that or the decision that you probably aren't going to be able to do more value than to damage boost the whole team with the Val. Like I say a lot, rank matters a lot. Your team is going to be more likely to get value with damage boost the higher your rank is. So in a diamond game, damage boosting, so many of the people on your team were grouped together that you're going to get like 3 damage boosts, and it's going to be more valuable for you to damage boost 3 people at a higher rank than it is for you to Glock people, if you're good with the Glock, at a lower rank. This is the other one. They said they went in too far with the Genji and got caught. I don't mind the little bit of damage on that Genji. That's fine. Good damage boost target. I would have switched to the Genji right about now. You accidentally cancel your Guardian Angel a little early on the way out as well. You maybe get out to this Bastion if you just fly forward a little bit more. I like that, keeping the damage boost on the Zarya when you go back to damage boost the Bastion ult. Oh, and it ends up being very good. You're able to keep them up there. Little bit of heals on this area. I would drop off for now. Yep. I'm not having a lot to say here because this is, I mean, you said you were looking for you weren't sure where to be. You're where you should be. No, in places where you're not taking too much damage. Careful with shooting him while he's still deflecting. If you play mostly Mercy, it's not something that comes into play a lot, but for you, but definitely something to keep in mind. Shooting Genji deflect isn't necessarily bad for you if he's not shooting you with the deflect, but he can be shooting your teammates and you might not notice. You could have definitely gone inside a little bit earlier to avoid that, but it definitely wasn't too late that you died. You choose not to res the Bastion, and I would have res the Bastion, just to make sure the more people you have alive, the more pressure you can put on them going into this, and the less you have to be aware about people coming back from spawn. not a big thing. He does get back before a team fight happens, but you could have had a slightly further forward team fight if you had resting. But you do have it up for this Moira, who just kind of got one clipped by Tracer, I think. That was maybe a little bit of a positioning error here to go to the other side of this payload. You wanted to give LOS to your Zarya though? Ugh, it's a toss-up. That's just a toss-up. It ended up working out because you had a res for the Moira, so no complaints. I don't love going to the other side of the payload because it does LOS anyone who chooses to play over here, and this is a pretty standard place to choose to play on that part of the map. But your Zarya was hiding in a corner and was low. I see why. Makes sense. I like that you're not bothering to heal up the Genji when he's still shooting people. He's in front of your Moira. He's gonna take accidental piss healing. That's the official term for Moira's healing. Being careful here. Just Valk. Just Valk. Yeah, just hang out on the payload, damage boost the payload people so they can clear point. I would have switched to healing when he got that low. Just so he doesn't die there. Alright, we're back on attack. We're keeping the same team comp. It worked out, eventually. I still think that Zarya is particularly not strong on this point. So playing her is non-optimal. We're keeping the Bastion, again. Weird. Not necessarily bad, but very non-standard. It was working for you guys, and it is my general opinion that if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If they were staying on the same thing to the very end there, they're likely to still be the same thing. And still play in the same way, so your team comp will still do as well as it was doing. You go for a speed ring out. You do the switch at a time I think is appropriate. That is to say, before the game starts, but not too close to like not all the way back here, because then your team's gonna expect you to play Juno. And I have been absolutely baited by Mercy players who are just beating me out, thinking they were going to play speed character for the whole time. You could have waited another half second longer before switching to Mercy. Not a huge thing. I personally don't like going for those plays because they give me anxiety. Your team is all the fuck over the place. I would be with my Bastion here instead of the Genshin. Even though you said your Genji's been doing better than your Bastion. The reason why is your Moira can heal your Genji here. At the beginning here. Your Moira's down here. Your Bastion's not going to get healed by your Moira. Your Zarya's not going to get healed by your Moira. But your Zarya's got more life to spare. So I say maybe see if you can get over to your Bastion. Right kind of then where he backs off. Or, alternatively, the Zarya just gave you LOS and they're probably about to take a whole heck ton of damage. In fact, they take so much damage that they die. So I'm going to say that actually would have been the better play, is to go fly down and then glide back up towards this way, staying over here behind this pillar from these people, or maybe over here behind this from this whole damage. And then look to try and get out to your Moira. Or maybe to your Genji. Unfortunately, they die. You go in with your Genji. That's a fine play. Is there anything that could have done to have more survival here? Because maybe if you live here, you do win. Okay. Yes, there is. It's difficult to know whether or not this is 100%. Okay, the person over there is an Ana. Alright, we go in. This guy goes in on the Ana and then goes away. But The Winston's jumping a little before here. He's jumping right about now. Yeah, it looks like he's just at the start of his jump right now. So you slingshot forward around this corner to where the Onnit is. Give her a little tickle to tell her to go away. And if she decides to fight you, you take that. You win those, I believe. Especially because your Genji's here and can back you up. That's the other potential play here. Play for survival and get out. I think that would have been the better play to live there, at least for a little bit longer. Maybe you're able to kill the Winston there. But we're resetting. We're hanging out bottom left. We're all just hanging out here. That's fine because you're waiting for your Genji. You're trying to get the ball to wait for your Genji. That's fair. Yeah, I would say get up there. Your Moira killed themselves. That sucks. You're on your main heals. Make sure. I would have dropped to heal that Bastion a little bit sooner. Nothing to be done there. Your Moira killed herself at the beginning. And your team didn't get any kills. You switched to Lucia to try and dodge. That's nice. I probably wouldn't have even bothered. Your team was in such a bad situation by that point. Alright. We've switched our team comp almost entirely. Kiriko, good pick. Hog, good into what they were playing. I like it. McCree, pretty good into what they were playing. I like it. Bastion, because this guy, he plays Bastion. I don't know. They go Diva instead of the Winston that they were just playing, which is a little bit of a bait on your team. Unfortunately, you no longer have the best possible team comp, but it is better than what you have been running, so it's just kind of hanging out. We're checking for the flank. You see those people, you ping them, good. See the Tracer? I'd ping the Tracer, or the area where the Tracer was. You LOS the Tracer by going all the way back there. I would be careful doing that because they might still have people over there. Maybe not quite have backed up quite so much, but it turns out all good. Nobody was there to... Oh, ow. I would have gotten out of that a little bit faster. Genji can delete you at close range. He can delete anyone at close range. So just being a little bit farther away from him there. As soon as you see he's there, I would have flown over to that Bastion instead of giving him a little bonk. I like the bonks, but in that situation, it's so important that you live that I wouldn't value that damage over just being as safe as possible. I would say continue to play up with this Hog. See to damage boost the hook. As soon as he either misses or hits the hook, then back off. I would say damage boost the Kree here. Instead of the Bastion, because the Bastion that was getting his bullets eaten. Your team C9s! Oh! That's not on you. That is simply just not on you. Let's see. You have a Hog. He's right next to it. You would think your Hog was standing on the point, but he just didn't. He just didn't. I don't know why he didn't. I wanted to see how that was gonna play out, but we'll never know because your Hog just didn't. That's unfortunate. That's just unfortunate. All right, just some overarching thoughts here. I think your positioning is fine. I think perhaps you are worried because your team was not running a very standard team comp, just kind of all over the place. But you did a good job of making sure that you weren't in a bad spot most of the time and living. And As long as you're healing people, damage boosting people, and living, it doesn't really matter where you are. As long as you can get away with it. No, I didn't see any problems with your positioning, pretty much. You were a little slow to Valk 3 out of 4 times. Not very slow, just a little slow. I'm not sure it would have affected any team fights, but it's something to definitely keep in mind. I think just your team wasn't being very much of a team for this attack, which sucks. There's nothing you can do about it because you're only one person. You can only choose to help one person. I think this was a big mistake, not going to your Zarya here. They're in a bubble, which makes it hard for your Moira to be able to heal them. I think you probably assumed that Moira would be with them. That, and we have a Valk that we don't use. Your Moira's dead. You have, like, probably just one fight here at this point. Just pop that Valk. Pop that Valk, make sure people live. So hopefully you can actually regroup instead of staggering here. It doesn't guarantee that you won't end up staggering here. But I think it sets you up better. So those are your 2 biggest misplays in this game. I think in general you can use your Valk a little bit earlier when people are low. Except for the first one, which you use a little bit early. Honestly, I think probably you had 2 big problems this game, and one of them was y'all's team comp, and one of them was y'all's very, very selfish playstyle. Not like you specifically, but your team was all just playing solo queue. If you're someone that uses comms, you could try and convince your team to play more together, but that has its ups and downs. You could also suggest that this person doesn't play Lifeweaver for the reason of Lifeweaver being not good. If you do play other supports, I would say probably switching off Mercy at certain points through here would be better. The higher you get, the harder it is going to be to play Mercy only or mostly Mercy. A Brig is going to be incredibly strong into this once you're off the Lifeweaver. And Juno is just an incredibly good pick. As I've said before, the lower you are, the more value Mercy has because of her survivability and her ability to convince DPS to do more, and her ability to try and push your teammates to get more value. But the higher you are, the less value she gets because she is simply not as strong as Juno right now and less good into the very highly played Winston and Diva. Diva especially. So yeah, I think you have good awareness of the mistakes that you've made. The two of your major mistakes you already noticed. So it's very good to have that awareness of yourself and be able to know when you make mistakes and be able to try and incorporate that into your gameplay going forward. I would say potentially in terms of like, you might have room for altering your mindset when it comes to Mercy. You seem very focused on the idea of getting most of your value through damage boost, and of course that is a big part of Mercy's kit, and something that people stress a lot on lower ranked Mercy players to use damage boost more. But in games like this where everything's all over the place, I would say it's not a bad situation to have lower damage boost per 10 than you usually would. And do more tank healing when your other support is doing the interesting plays that they make from time to time in this game. All in all, I think this game has a lot of elements that are difficult for you to control as an individual. But I would say if you're willing to, try and look to expand your hero pool so you're able to counterpick the enemy team. Counterpicking has become more valuable as we switched from 6v6 to 5v5. Don't be afraid to pop Valk early and often. It is not a super strong ult, but it keeps you alive and it allows you to do a little bit more healing. So especially when your other support's dead, just go ahead and pop that shit, you know? All in all, I think your positioning was fine. I think your damage boosting wasn't incorrect, and you didn't really miss out on all that much damage boosting, in my opinion. I think that if you're able to or willing to, being willing to switch characters at certain points during this game would help you, and that sometimes you just get unlucky, and it happens a lot when you're on Mercy, because she does not have a lot of control over the game. So it takes a lot of games to be able to win out a greater percentage of games on Mercy, even if you're a really good Mercy player. That's just how it be. So I think that's a lot of what happened here. But that doesn't mean there aren't things that you can improve on, and I saw a couple, and I hope this is helpful for you. For everybody else, I hope this was kind of interesting, kind of fun. Hope you learned something, maybe. Give me a like if you liked it. You should subscribe if you watched this long, and I'll see you all next time I decide to post a video. Oh, I dropped my yogurt on the floor.